Awesome. Alright, I'm ready. Thanks. What is up, everybody? It's me, Mikeycoolmoney. You may know me for being the greatest speedrunner in the world. I'm here today to play Hero Story Restricted Skips for you guys. Really cool category. I'm a huge fan of it. And yeah, I guess I'll get started right now. So, Hero Story Restricted Skips is pretty self-explanatory, just judging by the name. It's Hero Story, but you don't do the skips that are not allowed. A bit of trivia on the category is that it is a category extension. It will likely not get moved to the main boards. And it recently had a finalization of the rule set. So that's pretty cool. And there are also ILs now for it, if you want to submit to the category extensions board. And I'll go through each stage and how they're different. Starting with City Escape, it's pretty obvious. No CE skip. And no M3 clip out that you may have seen with the loop in the middle of the stage. So I won't be doing those skips. And yeah, it's just a really cool category in my opinion. You get to play a lot of parts of the game that are not really played. And yeah, so if you haven't seen this before, here you go. And if you want a more traditional hero run, tomorrow Dawn will be doing Hero Story Regular, which has all the skips and everything. Dawn's a great runner. I'd recommend checking that out. So Hero City Escape, the main thing is I'm going to try to stick to the ground as much as possible. Oh, missed the ramp there. Popping up in the air is the biggest time loss you can have in the stage. And so Sonic moves faster as you roll down hills. So I'm going to try to do that as much as possible. And here at the end, I'm going to try to minimize the amount of airtime I have on these rails by homing attacking at the right point to transition. Very nice. And there we go. So 133 checks pretty good. Here at truck section, it's more of the same thing. I'm going to try to stick. And I'm not going to have any visual cues, so it's mainly timing. That was a little early. There we go. Let's stick here. Yeah, truck section's probably the hardest part of the stage for many runners. Little learning curve to it. And 158, not bad. Sub 2 is what you should try to go for, starting out City Escape. Sub 155 maybe is the next level up from there. But yeah, I'll take a sub 2. Pretty good. So you may notice that my loads are atrocious. That is because I am playing on the Xbox 360 version of the game, which has considerably worse loads than the PC version. There are a few other differences that I'll go through as we get there. But yeah, the loads are bad, and that's pretty much the biggest difference. So here with Bigfoot, nothing changes. And as a matter of fact, with every single boss, with one exception, nothing changes. So I'm just going to do Bigfoot normally here, back box, because I'm cool. And yeah, so every boss is going to be the same, besides Egg Golem. We'll talk about it when I get there. And yeah, that's Bigfoot. Pretty simple. Especially if you do back box like me. So next up is Wild Canyon. You guys probably know about the hunting stages. Now, every hunting stage will play pretty much the same. There are two specific types of clips that are banned in Knuckle stages, and neither of which are present here in Wild Canyon. So I'm going to try to check for a few free pieces here to start. See if I get any. And there we go. Using the camera there, I can check for what is known as Bird Box Piece 1. I forgot what piece I got. Here we go. Wait, shit. Here, piece over here. I forgot what piece I got, and you can't actually check what piece you get when Omochao is talking, which is a little obnoxious, and that Omochao is really easy to hit. Center and 8th Pill is a pretty bad piece 3, but it's still a good stat. I'll take it. So yeah, in the beginning room of Wild Canyon there are a ton of free piece checks. That one is the most I won't say the most common, but one you'll see a lot. Just by tilting the camera, you can catch that free piece in the box there. No one likes missing that one, as you could tell. It just makes every set good, pretty much. So yeah, that's Wild Canyon. Eggman 1 is Eggman 1. There's not much to expect of this fight. You press one button here, Eggman will walk forward, you'll do the fight normally. So yeah, I guess I'll start talking about Prison Lane now. Prison Lane is going to be the next stage. Nothing is going to change with Prison Lane, and nothing is going to change with Mission Street either as we get there. Tail stages play primarily similar, 3 of the 4 of them. And the only one that's really different is Eternal Engine. Hidden Base is a little different, but here for Prison Lane and for Mission Street, they're going to be exactly the same. So now starting off with Tails, Tails in the map, blah blah blah, you guys know. But what I'm going to try to do here is when I get to these corners, alright, that was slow, I missed a few shots there, so I'm going to jump around them. And jumping around corners as Tails helps conserve your speed more. So you're going to see me hop around a lot of these turns. Help save speed and momentum. One thing that's a little different about the Xbox version of this game that not many runners know about is that shooting through walls to kill enemies early is a lot harder. There's the first gate hop. That's obviously not banned and restricted. But yeah, there's 2 gate hops. There's the first of them. But as I was saying, shooting through walls is a little bit harder in this mode and inconsistent. What you're going to see a lot of runners do is start charging here and try to shoot through this wall to kill an enemy behind the gate. Now I'm going to try to go for that. And you see there I didn't get it. This enemy right here, you can kill while you're on the elevator and you don't have to wait for that gate. But because I'm on the 360 version, it's actually a lot more inconsistent. And sometimes just out of my control whether I get that or not. So that's a little annoying. I gotta kill both those enemies. And you might have heard there, I broke the boxes. If you don't break these boxes, you can see runners that shoot, like, as they go to kill the enemies, they'll keep spamming shoot to break those boxes. It makes it a little faster. It's a good audio cue. I'm gonna shoot that enemy as I'm walking around, so I can open that gate a little faster. And here, come on the end, we got our second gate hop. Oh, okay, so what I did there is I turned a little early, and I lost a lot of speed. So I wasn't able to get on that gate fast, and 153 is an awful time. That was a pretty sloppy Prison Lane. It's just about getting your lock-ons and turning the corners as fast as possible. So Metal Harbor here. There is actually a banned strat in Metal Harbor. It's called Loop Yeezy. You might have seen it if you've seen the IL World Record or watched Katie, or Stolen Cryptic is another runner who goes for it a lot. It's because it's a loop speed launch, which is one of the banned techniques in restricted skips. So I'm not going to go for Loop Yeezy, not that I know how to do it. But just know that's pretty much the only thing that's banned here in Metal Harbor. Oh, almost missed that. And here's the light dash. Now the light dash lets you go around trail rings, button press. A lot of runners don't like the light dash, and I am certainly one of them. It is very finicky, and you'll probably see me in the next stage being forced struggle a bit with it. Here's a trick called storage. You're seeing I just ran under those somersault gates. That's because I'm holding the B button, and when you hold the B button when you're in a different action, it sort of stores Sonic's somersault state. I did it again there to get under that gate. And while you're stored in the somersault state, you can go under gates like that, hit enemies and stuff. Oh, my bad. Got a hover there. There we go. So what I did there is I got a spin dash hover. If you hold A as you go off an edge with a spin dash, you'll do it's a hover, and you won't get as much height as a spin dash jump, but you'll go a little further. There I want height and I want a spin dash jump, so that's a kind of a tight spin dash jump. And I got second try there. I messed that one up a lot. It's a little tricky. And that's Metal Harbor right there. You skip that last loop. And 130. Pretty bad time, but, you know, dying there at the end is just horrible. That's one of the last deaths you want to take in Hero Story. And next up, we get the Shadow cutscene. So I guess while I'm in the Shadow cutscene, I could talk about Green Forest, because this is pretty much, besides City Escape, the first major difference in Restricted. And that is Green Forest Wall Run is banned. Now, Green Forest Wall Run, you've seen it before, you'll probably see it tomorrow when Dawn does it. You climb up the wall, it saves like 12 seconds or something. That is nowhere to be seen here. Which leads me to another point. Green Forest is a stage that a lot of runners dislike, and no wall run means that a lot of runners would like it more. So this is why I feel like Restricted is a category that a lot of runners can do that don't like skips and stuff that are really annoying. And Green Forest skipless is a lot more consistent than regular Green Forest. There's Shadow. You might have saw for the first hit that I kind of just ran into him. That was another storage trick. I start holding the X button or B button in the cutscene, and that stores Sonic's somersault state so I can damage enemies, and I just ran into Shadow there for a quick hit, and got behind him for the last two for homing attacks. You can storage for all 3 hits and stuff, but yeah, that is Shadow. So Green Forest here. This is a hard stage. This is, as some may call it, the hardest stage SA2 has to offer. But it's mainly hard for the wrong reasons. You're going to see that I get popped up a couple times in this stage, and the light dash doesn't really work. It's just a buggy stage. Not many runners like this stage, and for good reason. It's really buggy and inconsistent, but much more consistent than regular Green Forest that has wall run. I did not go for Loop Easy there, or Air Easy. There's a trick called Air Easy there that you might know of. That is allowed in Restricted. Ooh, whoopsie. See, there's a perfect example there. I got popped up. That's not really my fault, but it happens sometimes in this stage. Oh, and there's another light dash. That also happens a few times in the stage. It's really annoying when those things happen. Here I'm going to try to hit the top spring. I think I hit the middle spring. That's pretty bad. The top spring will fling you a little further off of that vine and saves just a bit of time. So instead of going up to set up wall run, I'm going to go over here. And just continue normally up the tree. And then do a trick that's called bungee skip. Not to be confused with bungie skip. This is bungee skip. And very easy trick, just a spin dash jump. You skip the little bungee animation that Sonic has to go through. It saves a ton of time. And now we're nearing the end of Green Forest. Clip to the back of that loop here. And there we go. Oh, whoopsie. Tried to go for a trick there called Air Jordan, where you spin dash into the tree. And if you do that, you can skip the little spring section and save like a second. Missed it there, so I had to take the backup route. And that's Green Forest. Next up is Pumpkin Hell. Very similar to Wild Canyon in the fact that the things that are banned for hunting strats are not present in this stage whatsoever. So I'm just going to play this stage normally. Yeah. Notice how long these loads are. So here we're given the dig claws in Pumpkin Hill. Now, what's interesting about this stage is that once you load into it for the first time in story, there are different pieces that can spawn. Because we have to get the dig claws, piece 3s here have to be diggable, or piece 2s, when they don't have to be in regular store, in New Game Plus. So that's a little different. That piece 1 right there is a 50-50. Wait, under H in me. Okay. This piece is over here. Piece in piece 2. And Suffering from a Stuffed Nose. That's a good set. I'll take that. So yeah, the 1024, as it's called, which is the amount of sets that exist in the stage when you first load into it, is different depending whether you load into the stage with the dig clause and without. And there are a lot of different pieces that you can get when you load in with the dig clause, as opposed to without the dig clause. And generally, with a few exceptions, they're better. It's hard to explain, but that's why you may see some pieces that you never see in story if you watch like a times 20 or a Senti. It's because they start with the dig clause in Pumpkin Hill. Now Mission Street, nothing's banned here. I don't even think Mission Street Wall Run is banned, if you've seen that before. I will not be going for that. But yeah, so this is going to play very similarly to how you'd see it in a story run of a regular main leaderboard Hero All Stories run. What I'm going to do here is when I get into the upgrade, I'm going to sit in it for a little bit. Now you may notice when you're in an upgrade, the IGT timer does not move, but the cycles in the stage do. So we're going to manipulate the cycles of it to save some time and not increment the IGT timer. It's a neat little workaround that is possible if the time method we use. Now I am pausing because this is a pause hover. For those of you who don't know, a pause hover is when Tails hovers. If you hover as soon as possible after jumping, you actually get a bigger jump than normal. So by pause buffering this, we can get a hover and a jump input as close together as possible to maximize the amount of height we can get out of a jump with Tails and we can get over obstacles like those grates you saw right there. It's a really neat piece of tech. I'm going to manipulate that weight here. This is, get on this weight here and a walk of shame. Thank you. And that's the zero cycle platform. I was a bit slow, so I'm going to take what's called half cycle here. Zero cycle is the best cycle you can get for most runners. This is half cycle, so it's a little bit slower. But it's just a lot safer. If you go for a zero cycle and you miss, if the platform leaves without you, it's slower than just taking the front platforms and half cycle. So I'm just going to take the half cycle, move on with my day. Then the stage is really boring and plain. So I could talk about Aquatic Mine. Now Aquatic Mine is the next stage and is the first hunting stage that actually changes. What's different about Aquatic Mine is not all the sign clips you've seen a lot of runners do. Those are all fair game. The main difference of Aquatic Mine is the monitor clip. Now you may see the monitor clip when you're in the water power lift hall. You can use the monitor clip to get the ghost room from there. That is not allowed and restricted. So you're gonna, if you get piece 2 in the hall and your piece 3 is in the ghost room, tough luck, you gotta run around, no monitor clip. So it's a little bit more punishing and restricted. But you know, monitor clip's a thing that only the best runners can do for the most part. It's a very tough piece of strat. Now what makes Aquatic Mine really cool is this intro cutscene. Now this intro cutscene, you can see free pieces. Most notably 3 fans. So I'm gonna look here, see if I could see any free pieces. Nothing on top there. And there we go, there's 3 fans and the 3rd fan there. You can see that in the cutscene. And we got a green ping, so this is a good set. I'm still yellow pinging as I come up here. That means it's the piece 1 up top. My piece 2 is water level 2 height. And my piece 3 is 3 fans. So that's awesome. Very, very good RNG here. And this clip I'm about to do here is perfectly legal. So that's really cool. Aquatic Mine still stays really cool. Oopsie. There we go. 29. Very good. Very good set. So yeah, Aquatic Mine, my favorite hunting stage. A lot of runners' favorite hunting stage. I kind of botched that set. That was a very, very good set. About the best you can ask for. Free piece and a good piece 1. What makes Aquatic Mine sets is just you need a free piece to get a good Aquatic Mine set pretty much. And getting a good getting a piece like 3 fans means you can collect that right after you go up top, which you do every single time. And you can get really crazy sets like that. So this is Route 101. Nothing is different about Route 101. Very boring stage. I will show you guys something that's pretty not boring about it, but yeah, Route 101 sucks. The main thing that is about the stage is the ring route. So you're going to see me collect rings here and get boost. The most optimal times you want to use your boost are after you go up in the air in order to accelerate a lot faster. So you can get back to your top speed. The reason why I'm drifting here is because you retain the speed from boost if you drift, as opposed to just driving. So I'm going to try to wiggle as much as possible. And yeah, so here's the first point where you want to boost. You really want to boost, actually. You want to boost everywhere, but that's the first point where you really want to boost. Because you go as slow as snail pace right there if you don't get the boost. I got another boost here, that's really good, because see, as I go uphill here, as you go uphill while you're drifting, you lose a lot of speed. So here I'm at a really slow pace if I didn't have a boost there. So very nice that I had a boost there. This taxi could be kind of annoying. Good. You may notice that I actually did not have what's called PP skip. If this is your first time loading the stage, actually maybe, did I? Actually, maybe, no, I can't remember, but the first time you load into the stage, as you open the game, you get a like a 0.1 second time save or something stupid. Maybe not 0.1 second, but you get a little bit of a boost at the beginning of the stage for some reason, and it saves a little bit of time. So that's why you'll see runners always reset their game after they have a run die or complete a run past Route 101. And that's why if you want to IL the stage, you're going to have to do that every single time. So you're coming up to the end of Route 101. Oh, Tails, what the hell, man? Tails can do that sometimes if you're not going as fast as you can. 216's okay. And that does it for Route 101. Next up is Hidden Base. Now, Hidden Base is the first mech stage that really changes because they're restricted. Hidden Base, no pull hop, which you may see a lot of runners do. No GC skip, which you may see all the runners who don't do pull hop do. And there are a few different clips that you just can't do. So I'm going to do what's known as axle jump, which is the third on the totem pole of strats in Hidden Base. And my way of getting there, normally you go above a door and clip out of bounds for a second. But I'm not going to do that, so I'm going to have to break down all the doors. And it's very slow. Hidden Base is one of those stages that I think definitely changes for the worse when it comes to restricted. But it could be interesting if you've never seen someone do the things that I'm about to do here. Do some more pause hovers. Oh, sorry. Right here. To get up top. And normally I would jump over this far door, but that counts as going out of bounds, which is not allowed in restricted, so I'm not going to do that. But what is allowed is this axle jump. Very nice. I'm going to pause buffer this as well. You don't need to pause buffer that, but I like to pause buffer it for a little bit of safety. Same thing with this jump right here. And it's normally in runner's best interest to not pause hover, since our pauses are timed in the timing method we use for SA2. So limiting pauses is a very interesting strategy that runners now have to implement due to the timing method change. And it's something that I'm a fan of in a lot of places, something I'm not a fan of. I'm not going to go into good detail of that. But yeah, limiting pauses is a good thing now. And I would rather pause for safety. One really cool thing about Hidden Base, right here, this guy. You see this guy right here? Only on the Xbox 360 version that enemy exists. Only on the Xbox 360 version. No other version of this game. Not the PS3 version, not the PC version, not the Dreamcast version, nothing. That guy only exists if you were playing on your Xbox 360s. Why that's a thing, I cannot tell you, but yeah. Here at the end, this part is a little bit different. I'm going to do this part similarly, but what you see runners do is clip out on the right side there. That is another clip out that's not allowed, so I'm just going to go around here and lose a bit of seconds. And yeah, that's Hidden Base. Fairly similar, fairly not. Not one of my favorite restricted stages, but It's whatever. Next up is Pyramid Cave. Unfortunately, another stage that I think changes for the worse in Restricted, but there still are a few cool things you could do. But most notably, what is banned in Restricted and Pyramid Cave is the door skips. So I'm not going to do either door skip. And those save a lot of time. It's a lot more than you may think. For as simple as the tricks are, they save a lot of time. So you're going to see me go out of the way to grab some keys here. I'm willing to bet that a lot of you guys actually have never seen these keys if you're never really played this game casually that much. Because in speedruns, they're absolutely non-existent. This is one of the first things runners learn, is both these door skips. So yeah, we're gonna go back in time to when everyone first started running this game. Oop, I got a little low height there. Do a little cool backup here. Get up top like that. And now we get the bounce bracelet. Now, oh, whoops. Super bounces are 100% allowed with one exception in Restricted. We'll get to that soon. So here's the first key. Very slow. We don't like the keys. Oh, it's the rail here. Getting on this rail is a little bit harder because you don't have the height from the super bounce you normally have. And instead of clipping through the door there, we're going to go over here where the key is. Now this key grab is super awkward. Enemies shoot at you, the ghost grabs you. Sonic likes to somersault into the key because the key grab button is the same as the somersault button. Thanks SA2. But very smoothly there, I got that key. And now you got a platform back. Sonic cannot do anything in the state besides run and jump when you're grabbing the key. We're gonna put it right there. That enemy is in a horrible spot. Screw you. And for the rest of the stage, I'm gonna do everything similarly to how you may see it in a normal run. Snake skip is allowed, and so is the grav bounce at the end of the stage. Here's snake skip. There we go. Snake skip is 100% allowed because it is not a loop speed launch or out of bounds. There we go. And here is the... Oh, that super bounce could be a little tight. Oh, okay. I'm not going to go for the grav bounce here because that was a little bit scuffed there set up. It's tough to not get that without having the spin dash jump. But just know the grab bounce is allowed. And that's Pyramid Cave. Death Chamber, another knuckle stage that does actually change. The minor clip you see people do in Blue Path sometimes is banned. That is not allowed. And neither are any box clips. Now, box clips are not allowed either. So this stage is very primitive without those, but it's still a very technical stage. Booty clip is allowed, but what's funny about booty clip is I play on the Xbox 360 version, and booty clip does not work in this version. There is an alternative, but I did not know the alternative. Bat's Nets, I'm going to grab the upgrade here and restart. Bat's Nets is a green room piece. Bad death strat odds. Shoebox here is a core piece. I will death strat this. Core pieces are kind of iffy whether you death strat them or not. But I will death strat them because, especially Shoebox is a far core piece. You don't want to death strat the ones that are close to Red Room. So I'm going to death strat here, reroll my piece 2. Hopefully it's in Red Room. Very nice. Here, yellow ping here, Bugs Baby. Here's my piece 2, and piece 3 is Connect the Dots. Then this is a far piece. This is in Green Room. Oops. Yeah, it's one of the worst pieces you can get here. Death Chamber is heavily RNG based, as you can tell. It's mainly a you love it or you hate it stage for runs. Some runners, like my friend Deku, he adores the stage because he is very good at it. And it's a very technical stage. But other people like myself do not like this stage because of how hard it is and how the game can just kind of screw you over sometimes. But it all boils down to your skill in the stage, and I am very not good at this stage, as you might be able to tell. But, you know, the more time you put in, it pays off. King Boom Boo is next. King Boom Boo is exactly the same as you would see in a regular story run. I'm going to go for the one cycle here. If I don't get it, I will restart. What's really annoying about Boom Boo is that this is one of the biggest time losses you can take in the game, and it's also one of the simplest time losses you can take. Just one missed punch, and there goes upwards to 40 seconds, which is just ridiculous. So a very scary split for me in runs and in races, because this is the part of the run where you get nervous, and when you get nervous, you mess things up. So Boom Boo is a very easy thing to mess up. Very easy to nail, but like one simple error and mess up. I'm going to wrap aside. Punch him in the tail. Ooh, almost early. Very nice. Now, if you punch him like closer up his body and not in his tail, he will spin and go with the other direction, which is really obnoxious. So you want to try to punch him as close to the body as possible. Now here for Egg Golem, super bounces are banned. So Egg Golem super bounces are banned. It's the only spot where you cannot super bounce. But profit bounces, which you may have seen, are allowed. I'm going to do neither. Back before, like, maybe 2 months ago when we did the revote, maybe a little more than that, profit bounces were originally banned from restricted. But they're allowed here. I'm going to do neither because that's how I play a golem. And I just like casual strats. They're fun and consistent. It's just a matter of getting behind him as fast as possible and climbing up here. It's really hard to climb up his back when he swings like this, so I'm going to wait. Get a double bounce here. And he's going to use the head attack. After I land from the head attack, I'm going to try to land on his arm. So I'm going to spin dash jump up to his head really fast. And I fell off there. That's kind of tough to nail to get Sonic to stay in his arm. But overall, pretty solid Egg Golem. The best I've done with casual strats like that is 52. 55 is pretty solid. Sub 1 is what you want from Egg Golem. But yeah. Now, besides City Escape, this is the first stage that is just completely different. We will be playing through the entirety of Eternal Engine. And unless if you have seen 180 or other restricted runs, you have never seen this stage. Or casually, I guess. But yeah. Everybody learns Bofa right away when they do this stage, and we will be saying no to Bofa and no to the old Eternal Engine skip that runners used to do, and we'll be running through this stage normally. This is a hard stage. This is a very tough stage, easily the hardest mech stage for me when doing restricted. So we're going to say no to those boxes, no Bofa, and keep going. Now here we have to kill this enemy. This enemy's in a horrible spot. It just stands right in front of you. Avoid the Chow key. Hit the switch. Keep going. There is a cycle you can hit. This is actually a cycle-based stage. You'll see it in the middle of the stage here. Fall down here and land on this. Now, a lot about this stage is memorization. This is one of those stages that you can't just say, I want to be a restricted runner, and I will play the stage, because you will be lost. This is a tough stage. It's a long stage. There's a lot going on. You got to practice this one before you jump into restricted runs. This guy I'm going to walk right up to and punch. If you just keep firing at him, he will not hug you, and you can just walk up to him and punch him with tails and get the kill. Oh, missed the pause over there. Here's the cycle. I was a bit slow, so I didn't get it, so I'm going to wait on this platform for a little bit. That's fine. Here we're going to say no to old DE skip, destroy that, get that out of here, and keep going. Now this is my favorite part of the stage, right here, this outdoor section. It's just really sick platforming with tails. You normally don't get to see this. If this were like 180, you'd be killing the enemies and stuff for extra points, but here we could just speed through this part. A few pause hovers. And there we go. It's a really fun part of the stage. So I'm just going to run over here and hit that switch. If you fall down there, that is a humongous time loss, because you have to take a slow platform all the way back up here to get that switch to be able to get the upgrade here. And you need this upgrade. You're not going to get this upgrade if you play the game regularly, but you need this upgrade if you're going to play the game skipless. This guy's a jerk. He just hugs you the second you open the door. Unless you pre-fire him, you're going to get hugged by him. He sucks. Everyone hates him. But yeah, we keep going. Extra life right there if you want it. I'm good. And I'm going to pause hover off of this. It's a little bit faster to hover through this section rather than float here over nothing. And here's another hugging guy. Yeah, it's tough to avoid him. I was firing through that door the whole time and he still hugged me. Here I'm going to try to avoid everything. It's hard to avoid everything there. But there we go. And I'm going to try to lock onto as many of these as possible. Destroy them really fast. I can't just land on the gold ring like for EU skip. So I'm going to have to destroy that. And there we go. That's the end of the stage. That's Eternal Engine. It could be done a little, definitely a lot more optimal, but there's the basics for Eternal Engine skipless. A decently fun stage, a very hard stage, a lot of dumb stuff in it, but I don't know, it's still a pretty fun mech stage for me. Next up is Meteor Herd. Meteor Herd is exactly the same. There are no monitor clips or box clips in Meteor Herd, so we're going to play this exactly the same. Here we go. Unlike other console versions of this game, the 360 version does actually have the starting hint. Evil Water Drops is a bad piece, but I'm not going to take that. In front of the weight elevator, I don't like this one either. I'm not going to take that one. Or two stone platforms are joined. Okay. Weight elevator is actually, you can definitely take that piece. I'm really not a fan of it, so I reset it. Evil Water Drops you can definitely not take. That one's all the way up top, and top piece ones are not takeable. So I'm going to grab this, get back here, get this hint as well. This hint is not on the GameCube version. And big door never opens. So bottom piece 2. This is scary. I can get a top piece 3 very easily from this. So we'll see what the game decides to give me. Try digging watching the moon. This is a middle piece 3. A very common piece 3 at that, because there's a few different ones of it. I got the lowest one here, I can tell by the ping. This is a pretty bad set. You can do a lot better than this. But yeah, that's Meteor Herd. Meteor Herd's one of my favorite Knuckles stages. It's really fun. I don't know. Heavily RNG dependent because there's not much tech to it. But it's still a really fun stage, you know. Next up is Rouge. Rouge is exactly the same. Yeah. Nothing special about Rouge. So I guess I could talk about Crazy Gadget. Crazy Gadget is by far the most different stage. Because not only do you skip one skip, not skip it, you don't do one skip, you don't do another skip. So we now let's do CGSS or CGS, which for me, this is what makes restricted for me. I love Crazy Gadget skipless. I could play this stage for hours and hours and hours. It is an incredibly fun stage. I urge every new runner to just get their movement down in that stage. Okay, this is very bad. The bottom is going to open here because I'm taking too much time to kill Rouge. Oh, almost. The bottom did open, but that was right after I killed her. You may notice that I actually hold my controller differently. It's just to get like a A-B really fast on her, so I can get a kill there. If that bottom opens, the fight becomes complete spaghetti. You do not want the bottom to open. I barely killed her. It opens at about 20 seconds. Yeah, it's a tough split if that happens. So here's Crazy Gadget, and I'm going to not really talk during it, so I'm going to try to focus. But this is a very cool stage. Alright, beginning's the same, but once we get to the CGSS section, this is where it gets different. Whoops. So I'm going to grab the middle switch here as opposed to the left one. And fall right down here. That was really close. If you fall too close to that wall, you'll actually nip a kill plane and die. Here's a really cool strat. Let me see if I can get it. Oh, so right there you're going to try to light dash on the ceiling there to get across that gap. Unfortunately, it gave me a light dash to the side, which is super obnoxious. There we go. That's the strat. Sometimes that can happen where it gives you a light dash to the side, and that's really annoying. But that's what you want to see happen. You super bounce there, you light dash across the ceiling. Easily one of my favorite strats in the game. It's so sick. And here's another cool strat. We actually have to get the flame ring if we're doing this restricted. So I'm going to jump here and go there. You get the flame ring without changing the gravity. Another really cool strat. It's only possible in story style. And here's the rest of the stage. Whoops. Light dash across this. That's a little finicky light dash. Doesn't really work a lot. Another spot where you want to spin dash downhill is just like so you escape. And here we go, spin dash jump across that. It looks tight, but that's the freest spin dash jump in the game. That switch, if you miss that switch, you're kind of screwed because you'll go right past it. But there we go. There's Crazy Gadget. 153 is a very solid time despite the death. Sub 2 is what you should try to shoot for. And yeah, you see that puzzle room skip I did at the end there? Totally allowed, nothing banned about that. And yeah, that's Crazy Gadget. I hope you guys enjoy that because Crazy Gadget is awesome. Definitely a stage. My favorite stage in the game. Try it if you haven't. You're going to love Crazy Gadget Restricted. Easily the best high point of it. And next up we got Eggman, and after that I got FR Restricted. Another high point to restricted skips that I definitely recommend you guys. Being a reason why you guys play this category. Eggman's exactly the same. Not much to talk about here with Eggman. I'm going to pre-fire to the right here because he always walks to the right. So I'm going to see if I can get him as he walks to the right. There we go. Stands in place and get another shot. Lock onto this thing in the middle. This will explode and hit him. There we go. And I can shoot him now. And there we go. 15. Very nice. And here's Final Rush. No Final Rush skip and no fast FR. Those are the rules. Very simple. And this stage restricted is a whole different beast. There is a strat called FR Wall Run that I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with. I'll give it an attempt, but if I don't get on the wall, I'm not going to go for it. Because even if I do get on the wall, Sonic on the console versions of this game always falls off the wall. So I'm only allowed to run up it like halfway before Sonic will fall off the wall and I'll do the stage normally. It's very obnoxious, only a thing in the console versions. So FR Wall Run is pretty much impossible on the console version, which is sad. But the movement when you don't do FR Wall Run is really cool. So I'm going to land on this rail here. That's a very scary jump. If you die there, it's a 30-second death, assuming you didn't hit the checkpoint like me. And we're going to keep going with the stage. Here I'm going to bounce with this rail if I can get the right speed. No, okay. You can go right into this rail off that bounce. Whoops, that was close. Keep going forward here, and this is the area of FR Wall Run. I'm going to, again, give it a shot. If I don't get on the wall, that's fine. I'll show you guys what the movement looks like if you don't. And I didn't. Alright, so there's no movement if you don't. What I'm going to try to do is at the end of these rails, jump. Because you get actually a lot of height if you do. And the movement here is just really cool. Like, FR Wall Run's cool, but this is really cool too. I like this a lot. Here we go. I'm going to jump up here, get a little height, hold my attack across these. Very nice. Get on this, get some more height, go even higher. Go off this. I didn't get that. That's fine. Go around here, and there's the backup. That strat is... That whole movement section is really cool in my opinion, and there's tons of backups if you miss jumps and stuff, as I showed. And this part's cool too. I like this part. Oh, I fell down here. That's fine. Go across this here. And again, this platform, and do angled bounce. I'm going to try to jump into this rail with lots of speed. There we go. Very nice. That rail's got a pretty small hitbox, so if you miss that, you're oomsing, and no one likes that. Spin dash to this rail for last speed and try to land on the back of this rail. Very nice. Nail the trick. And it's the end of stage, pretty much. We're here to the end. Get another trick there. And that's final rush. Very cool restricted stage. I love it. I love rail movement in Sonic games. This stage is no exception in the slightest. Another IL I highly urge you guys to try out if you haven't already. And yeah, 2:30 is a pretty decent time without wall run. Wall run saves a lot. Sub 2 is the gold standard pretty much for final rush and restricted runs. A run that I highly recommend checking out is Ethmar's restricted run. He has world record right now. It's crazy. You're going to love it. You're going to see all the stages that are different. And here's the last split. Shadow 2. Time is when I hit Shadow for the final hit. The stage is exactly the same. This boss is exactly the same. Just like every other boss besides that gold. Oh, Shadow's not being nice to me. Come on, buddy. Here we go. Oh, come on, Shadow, dude. It's a huge rhythm-based fight. Oh. Just gonna go down here. I'm gonna play it a little safe. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. There we go. One more hit. And there we go. Time. Sub 46 RTA. Now, unfortunately, I do not have the auto splitter because I'm playing the console version. But this rounds out to about a mid 31, I'd say, in our timing method. Because it's about 14 minutes IGT RTA difference for console. About 12 minutes for PC. And yeah, that's Hero Story Restricted. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a really, really sick category. Highly recommend checking this out if you love SA2 and love Hero Story, all these stages. And even if you don't want to play this stage, I just urge you to try some ILs. You saw Crazy Gadget, Final Rush, even like Eternal Engine. And yeah, awesome category. Next up, we got Prophet, who's going to be doing more skipless stages because he's doing 180 emblems. I know it's early in the morning, but I highly recommend sticking around and watching that because 180 has everything this game has to offer. Prophet is incredibly knowledgeable, incredibly skilled. You're going to love it. And later tomorrow, or today, Dawn will be playing through Hero Story regularly, so you get to see all the skips. And you get to see a top 5 runner play this game also, unlike me. So, yeah. That's it for Hero Story Restricted. Check it out if I hadn't already. If I were you guys. And thanks for having me.